So here we are, just making a start at the front of the car, and as you can see, my existing number plate is a bit battered, so the new surrounded number plate will make a big improvement to the looks of this car. And the first thing we're going to do is get the covers off of the screws so that we can take the number plate off. And as these covers are a bit perished and I don't plan to reuse them, then the easiest thing to do is just to get some grips and pull those covers off. And now that we can get to the screws, just a cross-point screwdriver to get those screws out. And now with the number plate removed, we can get to all the screws that hold the original BMW number plate surround on. So again, it's just a case of removing all the screws that you see. So in this case, there's 5 of them. And if you do the middle one last, you don't have to worry about it tilting as you're removing it. It's only a small point, but it just makes it that little bit easier. And you can see that my old surround was broken a little bit as well. And we might as well give this a good clean up before we put our new surround on. So these are the number plate surrounds that I bought, and the backers themselves are nothing special, and they don't really need to be honest. They just need to be strong enough and they have plenty of mounting holes for mounting onto your car, and that's exactly what these have got. But these are what the seller described as a domed silver logo. The words and then the M logo are all like a metallic foiled sort of print, and the best way to describe it is it's like a gel. And so it gives it a raised sort of look. The other thing that the gel does is it protects the printing from the weather and the elements, so it should stay nicer for longer. And what you'll want to do now is just offer up the number plates around and see if any of the existing screws are going to do the job for you. So I'm just going to choose this one here, and I'm just going to put a couple of screws in and then just check again and see how well I think it lines up. And you probably noticed there's a little edge to the lacquer here, and that's because my old BMW surround was painted onto the bumper. I've had this bumper painted once, and really they should have painted it without the surround on and then put it on afterwards. Anyway, it's not essential, but if you have some small washers to fit, you can put those behind the screw, and then that'll just give you a better purchase on the surround. And with those 2 screws holding it in place, it's your opportunity to make sure you're happy that it's even all the way across before you put any more screws in, which you may have to drill in order to mount. And what you'll probably find is, in order for this surround to be stable, you'll need a screw in the bottom corner and the same at the other side. And if you want to, then maybe you can have one in the middle. And because these are self-tapping screws, which means they effectively cut their own hole to a certain extent, you just need a small pilot drill that's a lot smaller than the screw. And here are the pressed plates that I bought. And the company that I bought these from was called Plates for Cars, and these cost about £50 delivered, so they're not cheap, but I think that the quality is worth it. I think most of you will be aware that this pressed sort of look is very fashionable at the moment, where the numbers are raised up off of the surface and then painted on the very top surface. And actually that's where the quality of these plates come into itself. And it's really hard to get a set where this printing is really accurate, because the plates look so much better if the colouring is just on the surface, whereas the side, which is just domed a little bit from the pressing process, is the standard colour of the backer. Okay, so hopefully the resolution is good enough that you can see what I was talking about, the printing. Time to get them fitted. So that's the number plates around nice and secure, so that's pretty good. And so we just have our number plate here, and all you have to do is pop it in at one side and then flex it slightly. And then slide it up into place. And once you're happy the plate's positioned how you want it, you can go ahead and put the bottom piece on. And the bottom piece has these 3 press stud type fittings, which you can see here. So all you have to do is feed this left hand corner in behind the trim just here. And then similarly to when we fitted the number plate, you just kind of flex
the surround a little bit and just tuck it behind at that corner. And now you just have to press those press studs in place.
So this is what it looked like before, and this is what it's looking like now. A lot better, right?
Yeah, and the rear one is a really similar process. If anything, it's easier because you don't have a number plate surround to remove first. This time it's these holes here that are lining up quite well.
The bottom of the number plate backer is flexing just a little bit on the bottom left and the bottom right corners, and because the backer is going onto a slightly curved surface, it's not following the contour correctly without additional screws in. So I'm just putting a couple of screws in, and then that's got it nice and secure.
I probably should have mentioned it before, but at the bottom of the surround there's a little tab that pops up and it holds the number plate up in place. And there's another one at the other side as well.
And now we just go ahead and pop the bottom of the frame in place exactly the same as we did on the front one. Okay, so I hope you found the video helpful, and if you did, then please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, then please consider subscribing and clicking the bell to make sure you catch my next video. And if you had any comments or questions about the video, please post them in the comment section. I do read them and I'll answer any questions if I can. Okay, well, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.